Welcome to the broadcast and live stream of Moonshot Radio. Moonshot Radio is generously sponsored by the PNC Grow Up Great program. And here's your host, Dr. Nivea Torres.
Greetings and welcome to Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, also known as KRC. Our vision is that all children in Indian River County will be ready for kindergarten. We proudly partner with the Moonshot Moment, who is transforming the next generation in Indian River County by having 90% of all students reading on grade level by the third grade. Joining me today on this special edition of Moonshot Radio is Shannon Maitland. Shannon is the Community Engagement Manager for the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative. Welcome, Shannon.
Thank you for having me, Nivea.
Shannon, you're joining us from your home here in Vero Beach. And today we'd like to talk not necessarily about your role as Community Engagement Manager for the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, but the most important role that you have as a mom. And I know that you've been home with your little ones for quite some time, so please tell us their names, their grades, and how it's going so far.
Sure. So being a mom is my most important job ever. I have a 12-year-old son named Luke, who's in 6th grade, and I have a 7-year-old daughter named Lydia, who's in 1st grade. And we've been home together for about 9 weeks now, doing virtual learning and having a lot of fun together and just trying to stay safe and be grateful for all the people who are out there making things better.
Shannon, you mentioned virtual learning, and that's really what we want to probe further with you today, because you really have this on-the-field experience from our group. You have 2 little ones that you're really actively engaging in virtual learning. So talk to us a little bit about what is virtual learning and how are you walking your children through this process?
Sure. Virtual learning is something that's new to my children as of the last few months. Their schools had online components and the children used those for projects and small pieces. But once we were all ordered to stay at home, all of their learning is taking place online. So our school district has done a wonderful job, and the teachers have done an amazing job of, quickly acting and being creative with assignments and finding ways to engage the kids in learning. So I thank them very, very much, because it's been a much smoother experience than I expected. It's also a bit challenging. It's like a grad school online course is what it reminds me of. Really self-directing learning and going through assignments, finding them online, which is kind of tricky, and watching videos, taking quizzes. So it's, the best way to do school from home.
Shannon, and for those parents who might be going through this process with you as well, or for people who really want to be able to understand what virtual learning is, talk to us about the learning curve. Are you doing this on a laptop? Did the school district give you a device, or you have one at home? And what skills do your children need to be able to access their lessons?
Thankfully, the lessons can be accessed lots of different ways. We have a laptop at home and a desktop, so we just decided to use those. I was hesitant to get a laptop from the school district for my daughter, just for having a place to put it, keeping it safe, and because we had one at home, I wanted to make sure that there were enough for everyone who might need them who didn't have one already. So thank goodness we have the internet at our house, because if we did not have internet access, this whole process would have went much differently. And we do know some families through work who don't have the internet, and it's really been a struggle, especially for parents who aren't comfortable with the computer. It's very challenging. Um, we've had a good experience so far. We have a little bit of mixed emotions of um, not being able to learn together with classmates and with the teachers, and just that school environment, that school family my children miss very much. But we've been able to go on the computer, and there are different buttons to click on, different apps, and then it's almost like an electronic filing cabinet where the teachers have different assignments, different discussion posts, different links for videos where the kids can click on things, maybe chat with each other or comment about an assignment, watch videos of even stories being read, and then do a quiz afterwards. So it's really a great way to take learning, in the classroom style and try to mix it into the home. um, it's also really challenging because, especially for my first grader, she likes to learn with her friends and play, and movement is a huge part of her day. So being at the computer so much is exhausting. It really is.
Shannon, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because you're describing a process that's very interactive, it's very engaging. Clearly, the teachers in the school district of Indian River County have spent a lot of time preparing these lessons for their students. However, there are two things that you indicated. Your children really miss that interaction with other peers, and there seems to be some sort of fatigue after a while. Is that accurate?
I think fatigue is a great way to describe it. Just from being at the computer, looking at the screen all day, trying to figure out and navigate pieces. It's almost like a scavenger hunt sometimes, trying to find the right assignments. And well, also from working on the computer, it does something to your eyes. It's very draining. It's very exhausting, and I feel like sometimes it's a lot of learning crammed into a small amount of time. So it's a lot, especially for little ones, and even for my middle schooler. He's talked about that a few times, where he just misses being with his classmates and asking questions and learning together, instead of really self-directing. I mean, there are videos there, the teachers are doing a great job of providing resources, but it's so different. There's so many different learning styles, and in our household we're those kinesthetic learners, where we need to hear it, we need to see it, we need to smell it, we need to touch it, we need to taste it, we need all of our senses involved for it to really soak in. So sometimes just reading a paper on a screen, it just doesn't click all the way. So I've let my children kind of direct themselves, but then I'm there to check in, make sure that they're doing well, and answer any questions they have, and go through assignments with them. So some have been trickier than others, but um, it's been really tiring, and we have just another week and a half left, and we're excited for summer vacation.
Shannon, you're clearly a very engaged parent. You mentioned earlier that you have technology at home and you also have internet. But we at the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative also work with a number of parents, and we're thinking that they might not necessarily have the resources that you described in terms of technology, in terms of internet access, and also in terms of actual time. Because I'm wondering, could you give us a sense of how much time each day do you spend with the one-on-one coaching, or at least providing support to your children? There are a lot of parents that are working during this time that might not have that luxury.
That's a great question. I would say the one-on-one coaching that they need really depends on the day. So sometimes the kids are very self-sufficient. They're able to work through all of their assignments on their own. Other times they might need me to print something, or My middle schooler has some pretty tricky math problems that we have to work on together. And for my little one, it's more of navigating through the computer is more of what she needs help with. So we have some days where it's hours, it might be 2, 3, or 4 hours that I need to spend helping them. And other times they really don't need me at all, or maybe to find the charger for the laptop. So it's nice, and they really enjoy, and I enjoy as well, that flexibility where our alarm does not go off at 6 a.m. So yay, that's huge for us. um, and unless there's a certain meeting for them, sometimes we'll play in the morning, go for a bike ride, and then they'll do their schoolwork, or depending on my work schedule and meetings, maybe we buckle down in the morning and then, we don't play till later on. But we really do appreciate that flexibility where they're given about a week to do each assignment, sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. But it's not set up where, you must do this today at this time. There have only been a few things like that. Everything else is pretty flexible.
Shannon, we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, but when we come back, we want to talk to you a little bit about those fun activities that you started mentioning, because we know that there's a lot of virtual learning, there's a lot of engagement, but you're also creating balance for your little ones. So we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, but we will be right back.
At the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, our vision is for every parent, regardless of income or zip code, to have the knowledge and tools they need to raise healthy children that are prepared for kindergarten. Our mission is to support our partners in developing a high-quality early childhood system that is family-centered. Our outreach and parent engagement specialists connect with families and build trusted relationships. KRC has chosen Fellsmere and Gifford as our two focus areas in Indian River County. Our Fellsmere office is located downtown in the city annex, and our New Gifford office is located within Victory Park Apartments. Our administrative offices are now located adjacent to Healthy Start and Treasure Coast Community Health in Vero Beach. The Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, developing a high-quality early childhood system for all children in Indian River County.
Everyday activities are great for finding moments for talking and teaching new words. Babies' brains grow 80% in the first 18 months of life. As parents and your baby's first teacher, you can help build their brain with language and literacy skills. Involve the whole family. Ask questions. The more words babies hear, the larger their vocabulary can grow. Support early childhood education by talking, reading, singing, and family engagement. This message has been brought to you by PNC Grow Up Great and the Florida Grade Level Reading Campaign.
Hello, I'm Leslie Swan, Indian River County Supervisor of Elections. Our nation is working hard to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and we all have to do our part. If you prefer not to vote in person in the upcoming August and November elections, voting by mail is a safe and convenient option. Mail ballots can be easily requested online at voteindianriver.com or by calling the elections office at 772-226-3440.
We're keeping your house pest and termite free, as well as your landscape healthy and green. Call Compass Pest Control. Hi, this is Brian Combs, co-owner of Compass Pest Control. We are locally owned and operated with over 60 years of experience. We provide personalized, reliable service to all our clients. Call Compass at 772-925-1740 or visit our website, compasspest.com. That's Compass, PESTS.com.
If you operate a small business, you need services like payroll, tax compliance, HR tools, and other resources. You need Complete Employee Solutions. Vero Beach has a team of professionals, including Anthony Sammons, Matt McCain, and Jennifer Comer, who saw the need for competent payroll, HR, and employee leasing services. Call Complete Employee Solutions at 772-978-7277 or visit their website at CompleteEmployeeSolutions.com.
Welcome back to this special edition of Moonshot Radio. I'm your host, Nivea Torres, Executive Director of KRC, and joining me today is Shannon Maitland. Shannon is the Community Engagement Manager for the Kindergarten Readiness Collaborative, and she's also a proud mom of 2. Welcome back, Shannon.
Thank you.
Shannon, let's talk a little bit about fun things that you do with your children. We know that they're actively engaged in virtual learning, and during the first segment you talked about really the time on task that they spend during the day, but how do you create this balance so that they do have movement breaks and they can engage in other fun things?
We like to take time out during the day, sometimes just 5 minutes to let the dog out. Other times, we like to draw sidewalk chalk. One of my new favorite things and my daughter's favorite thing are to ride bikes. So we've always went for bike rides, but during this stay-at-home period, we've actually had time to work together and spend quality time together. And she just learned how to ride her bike without training wheels. So she's got a big girl bike, and we've been riding miles and miles lately. So that's really been one of our favorite things, take 20, 30 minutes out around lunchtime and just go out and ride or go out in the evenings. It's been really nice. So we really do try to work that into our day. We do a little bit of exercise in the morning, maybe yoga or jumping rope or just basketball, something outside. And we work for a while and we take a break, and we've really created a nice routine that we've engaged in, and we talked a lot about it, how we wanted our days to look. And I think that that's been really helpful because it's something that we all agree on. We're very much a team in our household.
So I'm glad you mentioned team, because a team really needs to work together, but there are times when conflict arises within the team. So share with us a little bit about how you address conflict among siblings or among the 3 of you as a team, because you are all in the house for quite a bit of time.
Thankfully, those moments don't happen too often, but after being home together 24/7 for several weeks, we've definitely had a few scuffles here and there, and sibling scuffles, which I grew up as an only child, so sibling squabbles don't really make sense to me, but I'm learning about them. And, sometimes we all just need a few minutes to breathe and just, have a little bit of space. And other times, right then and there, we make that a teachable moment. We talk about what happened, see how we could have done things differently, get each other to see, the other person's perspective. Because quite often when conflict arises, it's not intentional, just, I wanted a cookie. Well, it happened to be the last one. I didn't think about you not getting a cookie. I just wanted one for me. Or things like that, or even with housework has been a big learning curve for the children. Just seeing how much really goes into our daily lives, how many dishes add up, how much laundry adds up. So they've really become engaged in that process. But I'm very grateful because my kids do get along pretty well, and then they also recognize when they just need some time to do something different, or go talk to a family or friends on the phone, or maybe just play in a different spot of the house. So we really do try to keep that balance and be mindful of things and be grateful for what we do have. I think that that really helps a lot. And also having structure as well as setting boundaries. I think that's been one of our biggest lessons, for all of us, are just setting those personal boundaries when sometimes we have to say, I need a few minutes just to myself, or if they want someone to play with, asking to play and understanding that they might be busy right now, and maybe in a few minutes they can play, but also just the boundaries of how our time's structured.
Shannon, any final words of advice that you would give to families that are at home with children who are really trying to be very mindful about implementing virtual learning, but it's certainly overwhelming, and also trying to balance all the duties and responsibilities that you described: work, laundry, groceries. Any words of advice for our
I think being grateful that, we're not in a rush, at least for our lives. We were always rushing and driving and having to go somewhere. And this has been a great time to slow down. So I think being grateful for that. I think having a structure and a routine within your household, even if it's flexible, it doesn't have to be the exact same on the dot time every day, but having those same patterns and same things that you do. And one other piece, I have a whiteboard here that's also a magnet whiteboard, and the kids and I all got one at Christmas time. And these things are amazing. Kids will play with them for a long time. You can play all sorts of games. It's also helpful for homework. We can write our schedule on it. So if you don't have a whiteboard in your house, they even sell them at the dollar store, and the markers there are pretty good too. So that would be my one thing I would add to your household if you don't have one already. But I think more than anything, just remember you're doing a good job, and, just try your best. Some days that looks different than other days, and, just be thankful and grateful for what you have. And moms and dads and caretakers, don't forget to take care of yourself. Don't forget to take those deep breaths when you need to. And, don't feel bad if you need to take 5 minutes to yourself just to relax.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Shannon, because as moms, as caretakers, dads, you always find yourself taking care of others, but you really have a hard time pausing and creating that balance and serenity for yourself. So thank you for mentioning that, because that is very important. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm wondering, where are the children right now, Shannon?
The children were invited to pop in here with me, and they declined. So my daughter is doing iReady, which is an online kind of diagnostic that they have to do. And her brother is working on an essay right now. And they were also charged with keeping the dog quiet. So yay. So we're going to go for a bike ride in a little bit as a reward. But it's been interesting working from home, that's for sure. But I am very grateful to all the people who are out there working and risking their safety for everyone. So want to thank everyone for that. And I really do want to thank the schools and the teachers for doing the best that they can, and just very quickly turning around something that is difficult sometimes, but is manageable and is, the best available right now. So I just want to thank everyone. And thank you for being flexible with us on our team.
Well, absolutely, Shannon. We want to send our warmest regards to Luke and Lydia, and to your dog, Mr. Bear. Say hello to all of them for us. We certainly don't want to put them on the spot. They don't have to wave to us, but we will wave to them. We want to thank you for the great job that you do at KRC as Community Engagement Manager, and for just really being a super mom and trying to balance everything that you're doing now, your duties and responsibilities as a mom, your duties and responsibilities as a team member. Thank you for all the tips and advice that you gave our parents. And I also want to encourage our parents to go on the KRC website. There are a lot of resources and valuable information. It's krc.org, or visit our Facebook page. Until next time, this has been Moonshot Radio, where every moment is an opportunity to learn.